It's pretty clear that his goal was to kill as many people as possible.
Chief Lanier opens up about the Navy Yard shooting, the heroes, the victims, and the investigation as workers return to the scene of the crime.
I don't know. I'm kind of apprehensive to see how things go. It's going to be a new norm. It's going to be very difficult for a lot of people. The morale is going to be a little down, but we'll survive.
As you might imagine, it was a tough day for Navy Yard employees.
They returned to work 3 days after a gunman opened fire in their workplace, killing 12 people.
Meanwhile, Chief Lanier also returned to the scene today, and she talked with our Brad Bell about exactly what police encountered inside the Navy Yard on Monday. Brad?
Well, Leon, what she's telling us is it was an absolute nightmare scenario. She says the scale of the crime scene is immense, and there were so many places to hide for the gunmen. She says the actions of the police officers charged in there, absolutely heroic. For the first time today, Metropolitan Police Chief Kathy Lanier toured the crime scene in and outside of Building 197.
I can't say that it wasn't, horrific.
Speaking to us one-on-one for the first time since the mass murder at the Navy Yard, Lanier says it took an hour and a half to walk the entire scene.
The first thing that struck me is just how massive the building is and what it must have felt like for the officers responding in as the gunfire is still going.
The chief says teams of officers pursued gunman Aaron Alexis for about 30 minutes through a labyrinth of narrow hallways and office cubes.
They walked into the most complicated scenario and they just went straight towards the danger.
Each cubicle has to be cleared individually. So this is a rather daunting task.
Ian Glick is chairman of the Park Police Officers Union. He revealed today that the park police officer who teamed with an MPD SWAT team member to shoot and kill the gunman has been a cop for only 3 years. And though uninjured, his life has been changed.
There was carnage everywhere in this building, absolute carnage. And when officers have to go past people who are asking for help because they still have yet to neutralize the threat, that weighs heavy on your mind.
Glick says at the end, the two officers in a tactical V formation found Aaron Alexis in a cubicle. As Alexis pulled his trigger, he says both officers fired.
There was no time to think. There was only time to act.
I saw police officers do some of the most heroic things.
Now, Chief Lanier says from her perspective, though this was a horrible, horrible thing, she has to focus on the response. And she says the right people got there at the right time and she believes did exactly the right things. At the Navy Yard, Brad Bell, ABC 7 News.
Thank you, Brad.